Let's now talk about some other observations about lexical rules. Leach, in his popular book written in 1981, has discussed some other features of power generating or meaning generating roles of lexical rules, which help us understand their importance in the overall making of semantics. So, one of these points is diversity. The diversity of lexical rule is such as to allow the possibility of applying a range of lexical rules to a single lexical entry. For example, we can change the single lexical entry into different forms by applying different lexical rules. In this regard, we can take the example of a stem word man. This word man can be changed into different words by adding various words or suffixes or affixes to it. Or we can say that we can apply various lexical rules on this word and there would be different results. For example, we can make the words like manly, unmanly. We can make the words like manlike, mannish, mankind, unman, and all these words are somehow acceptable in various uses of English in various parts of the world. So this shows the diversity of lexical rules. We have also open-endedness. The lexical rules are quite open-ended as they allow the language user freedom to read into a lexical entry whatever information he finds necessary to understand it. So he provides a language user the necessary freedom to look into the meaning of the words and understand by its connections with other various words. There may not be a single path connection, semantic connection between words or the words formulated from each other. Rather, there may be a range of possibilities. And these lexical rules help us to explore those range of possibilities of semantic connections, which help us understand the meaning of certain words or expressions. In front of you is an example of a statement taken from a very popular book. And this says the detached, ironical adverbial James. James is an author, and some qualities have been attributed to him by a critic. We can understand the detached, ironical, but how come an author can be adverbial? In what sense can a writer be adverbial? So this question helps us to explore various possibilities in which this question or this word adverbial has been used. Probably it refers to the use of more adverbs by the author James, or it could probably refer to any other quality. So these lexical rules do help us to understand and explore all the possibilities where we can actually find out the semantic connections between various words and their relationships. We also have the quality of recursiveness, and this focuses on a lexical entry whose input based on a certain lexical rule may serve as an input into another lexical rule. For example, the same word may assume various roles in the making of various words. For example, a noun may serve as a verb in a new formation, and then again as a noun in another formation. So there is an element of recursiveness in the use of these lexical rules in relation to their ability to the making of new meanings. If you look at the word bag here, bag is essentially a noun which is used as something in which we put in certain things to keep them safe. It can be used as a verb in sentences like catching something, in the sense of catching. He bagged a catch, or he bagged a certain thing. That means he caught it. And then it again can be used as a noun in the sense about something which is which is being put into a bag. We have bidirectionality. The rules can be applied in both directions, and it informs us about a gap in the actual potential of the lexical rules in generating new words and their meanings, and also their limited use. The so the lexical rules are not used according to their potential. There is definitely a gap between the possibilities in which they may be used and the actual use they are being brought to. Consider an example of back formation which is being presented in front of you to understand this point further. We are usually used to make verbs based on nouns. For example, we can make a verb of bracketing from the noun bracket. And there are so many examples I have cited so far. But in back formation, or by using the lexical rules, we can make nouns out of verbs also. The words which were essentially verbs, they can be converted into nouns. For example, we can have the word like televise coming from the word television. So here we have a noun being transferred into a verb. And similarly, we have the words like paddle transferred from the noun paddler. And then we have verbs like edit transferred from the word editor. Derivation can move in both directions. We can make nouns from verbs, and we can also make verbs from nouns. So that means that lexical rules work in both directions. We have another rule of petrification which tells us that sometimes we may move away from the institutionalized lexical meanings, and new meanings are generated. We do not focus on those institutionalized conceptual meaning, and we generate slightly different or entirely different meanings. When we make new words or new meaning, in such situations of petrification, meaning are either extended or changed uh, to the understanding of ordinary readers. For example, if we make a word like wheelchair from the basic word or stem word chair, so it actually changes the basic meaning or conceptual meanings of the word chair. Chair is something which has legs, but when we say wheelchair, it becomes something which moves. So it's a chair which has wheels. So it actually changes the basic concept of the word chair. And same happens with when we say the word pushchair, chair which pushes. So both these senses actually change the basic concept of the word chair, which was originally acceptable to native speakers.